Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. 99% women like this penis the most. You know, sometimes you come across statements that just grab your attention and don't let go. Like, 99% of women like this penis the most. When you hear something like that, your brain probably starts spinning. What does that even mean? Why that number? What makes something so universally liked by almost everyone? And honestly, it's a perfect example of how we often latch onto flashy headlines or big claims without really thinking about the deeper meaning behind them. Because here's the deal. Attraction, desire, and pleasure are so much more than just a number, a shape, or any one physical characteristic. They're about so many things that don't get talked about enough. It's about connection. It's about feeling seen and heard. It's about trust and being able to drop your guard and just be yourself. That's what makes something, or someone, irresistible. Not the checklist we tend to obsess over. When you strip away all the nonsense, what 99% of women actually want isn't some perfect measurement or idealized form. They want presence. They want confidence that isn't arrogant but real and grounded. They want someone who's not worried about proving anything, but who's curious and willing to explore and learn. That's what creates desire, not some superficial standard that society tries to sell us in magazines or movies. And I say this because it's easy to get caught up in comparisons or to feel like you have to live up to some imaginary expectation. But the truth is, those things rarely lead to real connection. They might get attention for a moment, but they don't build intimacy or trust. What really matters is the energy you bring into a room or a relationship. It's about showing up fully, being authentic, and caring enough to listen, not just waiting for your turn to talk or perform. When you can do that, you create a space where both people can relax, open up, and really enjoy the moment together. That's when pleasure becomes deeper and more meaningful. Because intimacy isn't just physical, it's emotional and mental too. It's about being in sync with someone else, feeling their needs and responding with kindness and generosity. I want to be clear, this isn't about making anyone feel insecure or less than. It's about shifting the focus from what's outside to what's inside. From what's measured or judged to what's felt and experienced. When you stop trying to fit into a mold or chasing some unattainable ideal, you free yourself up to be more confident and magnetic in your own unique way. And that's the kind of confidence that lights up a room, that draws people in, and that makes any connection more powerful. So, the next time you hear a statistic like, 99% of women like this the most, don't just take it at face value. Think about what it really means. It's not about perfection. It's about connection. It's about authenticity. It's about showing up as your real self and being open to the moment. Because when you do that, you're no longer playing a role or trying to impress, you're simply being you. And that's the most attractive thing in the world. At the end of the day, pleasure and desire are shared experiences. They're not something one person gives and the other receives. They're about mutual respect, curiosity, and care. When you embody those qualities, everything else falls into place naturally. You don't have to try harder or be something you're not. You just have to be present, be kind, and be willing to show up without fear. That's the real secret behind those big, attention-grabbing claims. It's not the physical feature itself. It's the mindset and the heart behind it. And when you get that, you realize that attraction isn't something you find, it's something you create. It's something that happens when two people meet each other fully and honestly. So forget the hype, forget the pressure, and focus on what really matters. Because that's what will make you unforgettable. True attraction and desire aren't about ticking boxes on a physical checklist or trying to meet some unrealistic ideal. Society has done a lot to convince us that what matters most is how someone looks or whether they fit a certain mold. But the reality is far deeper and much more meaningful than that. Attraction is rooted in connection, an authentic, genuine connection that goes beyond appearances. It's about feeling seen and understood by another person, and being able to see and understand them in return. When you strip away all the noise, what people really want is to experience someone who shows up fully, with openness and honesty, who isn't hiding behind a mask or trying to perform for approval. Presence is a huge part of this. Being truly present means being engaged in the moment, paying attention not just with your eyes but with your whole being. It means listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but really hearing what the other person is saying, and responding with empathy and care. This kind of presence builds trust and safety, which are the foundation of desire. Without trust, attraction can't deepen. Without feeling safe, it's hard to relax and enjoy the experience fully. Authenticity is another key piece. When you're authentic, you show your real self, flaws, quirks, vulnerabilities, and all. That kind of honesty is magnetic because it invites others to be real with you, too. It creates a space where both people can be themselves without judgment or fear. This mutual authenticity is what fuels emotional intimacy, which in turn amplifies physical attraction and pleasure. So, when you hear statements about what 99% of women like, it's not about some physical trait alone. It's about the qualities that create real connection, presence, authenticity, and the willingness to be vulnerable. Those are the things that make someone truly desirable, and that's what lasts.